Okay, Ramli, I think we are 17 now, and I expect
Yes.
we reach maybe 30 to 40 people after 10 minutes. So let's start.
All right. So I'll give a short introduction.
Yes.
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 So hello, everyone. On behalf of IIIE, I, Rimli Das, take delight on extending our warm welcome to our esteemed guests and each and every one present here. Today, we are elated to have with us Dr. Buheji, who is an expert in gifted education. She specializes in teaching gifted students and developing enrichment programs for the gifted. Ma'am, we welcome you, and it's our pleasure to listen from you and know so much. So thank you so much and welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope this meeting will be an inspiration, and I'm definitely sure that you will inspire me as well. We will go through the slides. We'll have questions later on. So yes, Bismillah, we can start, inshallah. So our title today, within the coming minutes, let's say maybe 1 hour, will be focusing on revising the meaning of learning and why is learning important and how is it related to creativity. So let's start, inshallah. So our roadmap will be on many, going through those stages. So what's the meaning of learning? Why learning? And then we'll have a look at interesting model, which is conscious competency learning model. Then we will relate it to learning and creativity, and we will give some focus to this 21st century skills and how it is related and focusing on creativity. And we will be asking and answering this question, which is regarding, is creativity, can we learn to be more creative? Is being creativity something to be learned? We'll go through all these things. So our first question that really evoke within our title of this meeting, what's the meaning of learning? So let me rephrase it. What's the traditional meaning of learning? What do we always or normally, what pops in our mind when we say or listen to this word, learning? Now, normally it goes like this. We will remember or see a vision of a teacher, of a student, or somebody is learning. So it's kind of related to teaching. It's related to memorization. It's related to information recalling, and it's actually a new knowledge. But is this real? Is it the real meaning of learning? Well, there is other meaning of learning that we might know, but we don't know that we know. Now, let's see. So to be honest, and for me, as used to be as a teacher, and then went to the field of gifted education, and I taught like 8 years, and on the field of teaching education more than 15 years. So being a person who've been working in Ministry of Education in the field of teaching around 20 or 21 years ago. Now, all these years give me an important thing, that the normal meaning of learning is not identified to everyone. Well, here in front of you, some related real meaning of learning. Number one and most important is understanding. Understanding, it's not only listening or getting or knowing and new information or knowledge. It is understanding it. And how we get that, we'll go to this later. Also, relating ideas, making connections between ideas that might pop in our mind, or we might see it here or there. Other real meaning of learning, being independent. And actually, we learn to help ourselves to be more independent. Let's see it. We push our kids to go to school, and we then encourage them to go to university, and then to I don't know what. It's as a parent, we want them to be independent. We want them to depend on themselves, to stop asking people to help or to support themselves. So learning should lead them to independence. Learning should definitely help us to have the ability to for critical thinking, the ability to be able to think creatively, to have creative thinking abilities. Overall, learning is the ability to transfer knowledge in a different and new context. And this new context can be creativity as well. So learning is, well, I've been searching and I found this definition of learning, which I find so interesting. To be honest, I built this PowerPoint or this meeting according to this meaning, to this definition of learning, which I find so interesting. So learning is a process. Now, I can't go just through a process like this. No, process means it's a journey. It's a long road, like an image in front of you. A process is something, it's not happens one at a time. It's a lifetime process. So it should take a long time. And we should be patient while learning. So learning is a process that leads to change. Now, when we try to learn something and we feel that we learn it, but then when we focus on our ways of dealing with things and we are repeating ourselves without change, this means that we didn't get it yet. We didn't learn yet. We should relearn whatever items we are having a look at. So it's a change in our attitude or the way. Also, learning, let's say it, a process that leads to change, which occurs as a result of experience. So learning should be within experience and increases the potential and important performance and future learning. So when this long journey of learning, definitely it will help you to build in long life learning skills. You don't need people to teach you. You can teach yourself, but you can search for the way of teaching yourself and get learned. So with that definition, which I found so interesting while searching in Google, I said, well, let me focus on this definition and let me see those important highlighted keywords. Change. When we learn, it seems like a life circle of a butterfly. And change is when we learn. So change will happen or occur in different level. We will find those changes in our knowledge. We will find changes in our attitude toward many things in front of us. We will also definitely find changes in our behavior, how we think, how we behave, how we react and react on any action in front of us. It is even when you find an issue that you find it as a problem. But when you learn, this is not a problem. This is an opportunity. So you change the way of your thinking. It's like having this long journey to change from a small idea to a big idea. It is like changing an insect, a very small insect, to something, wow, to a butterfly. The other keyword that I found so interesting is practice. And to achieve good learning, we should, as they say, practice, practice, and practice. So learning is not something done to students, done to you as a person, but rather something students themselves do, something you yourself do. So when you get knowledge and you find that this knowledge is starting to change the way you think, then it is the time you should move and practice what you learned. Otherwise, you lose it. So as the picture in front of you, you have this knowledge. Now, good, you reach a knowledge, but you should make these connections that we mentioned before, connections between ideas. Now, these connections will never happen unless you went to the field of practice and you success or you fail and redo whatever you're doing and then find until finally you success. Failure might not happen. You might do something, practice it, and direct you success. But failure is an option, might happen. And then you're ready for that option, because then you will revise whatever experience you have and redo whatever practice you're doing. So the good thing about practice is building new ideas, practicing your ability in technology, rechanging the way you think through practice, having innovation ideas through practice, building your goals and measuring these goals and doing your best to do them, again, can be gained by practice. Achieving and opportunities, these all definitely will be achieved when you practice the knowledge that you're focusing on. Then your performance, because learning is important. Learning will help you to change. It will force you in a good way to experience, and this will give you the opportunity to performance whatever you have from skills. Learning need to have significant opportunity to develop and practice your intellectual skills. Now, when you learn something, yes, that's really good. Learning it's amazing, but you should use the knowledge you learn to evoke intellectual skills you have, thinking process you have, social skills you have. Because even though you might be a creative person, and we will discuss creativity in a minute, even though you have big ideas, even though you have a patience to challenge yourself, if you lack social skills, you might not achieve, because you need these skills now. What kind of skills? The intellectual skills that you need, thinking process that you need, social skills that you need. Well, I highlight them, and I find they are so important when you have the journey of learning. You need to focus on your critical thinking. Well, am I thinking in a critical way? Am I focusing? Am I conscious in when I critical an idea or thought? So you can always develop your critical thinking. Also creative thinking, definitely. And this is what we aim to, and this is what schools should focus on, and what they are doing at the moment. I find STEM is there. I find robotics. I find new ideas has been focused in some schools that I'm dealing in. Some need to be conscious that critical thinking should be in schools, and should be in our life, and should be in our families as well. Because family is a part of learning process. It's not, we don't learn at schools. No, never. We learn in our houses, and in family. We learn in schools. We learn in society. We learn every day. So creative problem solving, also future problem solving. And let me talk about future problem solving is a very important thing, because not everyone can feel or know or have the intuition of problems that might happen in the future. Those well-educated, gifted, talented people can see what might be a problem in the future. And since they have this intuition or feeling, then in this case, they'll do their best to find solutions, a creative solution for those problems that is not existed at the moment, but that might happen in the future. And to be honest, if we focus in things that we use at the moment, things that are so important, such as technology, such as smartphones, actually, it came because there are some inspired people think about future and find the problems that might happen because of regular phones. Then they create, they have the ability to innovate new ideas, and those new ideas are part of our life at the moment. So this is also a skill that we should work on, as well as interpersonal and social skills. And they are so related to social dealing with people, communicating with people in a smart way, group working, teamwork, and these kind of practices actually need skills. Some so creative people were not guided or they didn't have the opportunity to learn how to work in a group or to work on teams. Now we know that any new idea, that we know that being creative means that being able to work in a group, because no one is able to be good in everything. We are subhanallah, we have different abilities. Now when we work in a group or we work as team, this means that now we have the balance. We have people that are good in different areas, and this united us in an idea that can be reached to level of success. As you know, it is skills. Those skills can be, everyone can be fine or amazing in certain type of skills. So helping us, helping yourself, helping students, helping youngsters, or helping youth to have the ability to work in group also need to be learned and need to be focused, because this is the way to create new ideas. And definitely, and this is so related to effective communication. And when we say communication, we focus on two main skills: to listen and to be able to communicate, speak, and vice versa. So some people are so good in speaking loud, but sometimes they lack the ability to listen carefully, to listen and to understand. All these skills are so important. So let's focus on a very important thing, which is main concern in our meeting, which is creative thinking. And let's go within this. But we'll have this question: why do we need to learn? Is learning important for us? And why do we do that? Why everyone should learn? Well, I find it very interesting to show you some of the ideas I find that motivate us to learn or for learning. First thing, we learn to reduce or increase our knowledge. And remember the image: when you have knowledge and you can connect them, then you can have a new idea. So yes, by learning, you can develop a new knowledge. We learn to understand more about ideas, about problem, about challenges, and I want to add opportunities. We learn to satisfy our curiosity. In some areas, some cultures find curiosity a bad thing. Well, actually, curiosity helps us to reach to new ideas, to creativity. Because if we lack creativity, we will not start to dig to something new and to learn something new. This something might be really big project in the future. Also, we learn to increase our independence and efficiency. We learn to improve how we can do things. And what really I like so much and find it so interesting, we learn to feel happy, because learning reach to knowledge, and knowledge will help us to be able to be creative, and will help us knowledge as well to increase our ability to be able to reach all the 21st century skills, which every one of us maybe went through them, we know them. But what's interesting regarding the 21st century skills, that really it focus on critical thinking and creativity. All subcategories that is included in the first and second, in the 21st century skills are related in a way or another to creativity. So we have, again, critical thinking, communication skills, creativity, problem solving, collaboration, perseverance, information literacy, and it's not reading literacy, it's not, it is now technology skills and digital literacy. And we now understand and know that everyone should start learning how even to develop their own digital ideas, to develop their own apps. It is now the trend that will reach to everyone and will unify all the communities and projects that is really related to digital ideas and to technology. Such a program, Zoom, that I'm sitting in Bahrain at home, reaching more than 12 or 10 countries all around the world, and giving me the opportunity to forward some of the simple ideas I have to people who have big ideas and to people who want to make those changes in life. So I'm really, really honored and pleased and happy to have such a technology that helped me to reach all these peoples. So I'm really happy to have you through this program and to have this opportunity. So knowledge is power, definitely. When you have knowledge, you have the power to achieve many things. You have the power to connect ideas. You have the power to reach others. When you have knowledge, you have the power to change problems, to change them to opportunities, and those opportunities to project, and those project to success, and to be extra income. So we are changing the map in front of us. We used to see problems as something so tiring, something so unhappy. Now, no, problems, again, I repeat, problems as opportunities that we can use those problems in big ideas. Now, this model I find so interesting, and I found it so related to our meeting today. Conscious competence learning model. Now, there are 4 windows in this model. And this, if we understand this model, we can use it in any knowledge or any ideas we want to use it in our projects, or in creating new ideas. We can turn it from an idea to a real life project, and then this will be like an extra or main income, and we reach to independence in this way. Let's see window number 1. What you know, you know. So the knowledge of you're conscious, aware of. You know certain things. You know that you're able to read. You know that you're able to maybe drive. You know that you know that thing. Okay. Window 2. What you don't know, you know. And this is challenging, there are some knowledge that you don't realize that you know, and this is a waste. That you are really good in certain areas, but you don't have you're not, you don't realize that you're able of it, and you don't know that you're able to do such a thing. This is a waste, and you should work in this area. Window 3, what you know you don't know. Again, this is also good, but because you are conscious that you don't know certain things, and we expect you, since you don't know certain things, that you will work on this field to learn. If you find that learning it will add something to your knowledge. The 4th window, which is so important, knowledge you are not aware even exist. So what you don't know, you don't know. So there are things that you don't know, that you don't know them. And this is simple example in this area. There are some features in your smart mobile that you don't know that they exist, and you don't know how to use them. And this is again a very huge, big waste. You've bought this smart mobile because it has a lot of features. And if you are using this smart mobile and answering phones only, and not using all the amazing features that it has inside it, then you're wasting most of your money. So what you should need in 4th window, you should dig for the unknown things that you should learn. And this is the high level of learning, of being conscious and learning. The coming slide will explain it in a slightly different way, but related way. Like in first stage, unconscious incompetence. So it's like, I don't know that doing, I don't know that I don't know how to do it, the 4th window. And in this case, if I discover that I don't know that this idea I should know, then you have like the word, then I'm aware that I don't know this knowledge. Then you go to step number 2, conscious incompetence. And here you have a little ouch. I know that I don't know how to do it, and it bothers me. And now I should move and learn and change. So here occur the learning and changing. And then you'll jump to step number 3. Now in step number 3, you're conscious and you have your competence, you're able. So I know that I know how to do it, and it take me time to do it. Need some time, but I'm working on that. I know it, and I need to focus to do it. Step number 4, or the last level, is unconscious competence. I know that I do it, and it is second nature of it. And here maybe an example of that, like when you drive your car and you have license more than 10 years, and it's like something you're so used to it, and you drive, but you never focus in the steps you do while you're driving, because it's something so natural. But here is also, there is an area that is little bit dangerous, little bit, because it's a part of a comfort zone. And being in a comfort zone might be not so healthy when you want to generate new ideas. So when you are in level 4 and in the 4 stages of learning, in this model in front of us, knowing things so good might not be helpful, but you should be conscious when you do things that you're so good at them. Because when you are conscious and doing something you're so good in it, then you can develop the awareness of something you're so good in it and develop it to get to be even better and better. And you might also be a part of someone else's learning journey. And this is very important. And I feel that this is the mission of the idea that we are all together here. We want to learn, but at the same time, we want to be a part of adding something else to people. So these are the steps, and these are the windows, and this is the model, which I find really interesting. And this model really, this is the first time I connect this model to creativity. So being creative means the ability to come up with new ideas. Now, when you focus on idea and relate ideas with the 4 windows I told you about, you might have a new perspective. So creative people find unique and innovate and innovating ways to solve a problem. They have the way of innovation ideas to solve any problem, creative ideas. Now, we have a problem or a challenge or an opportunity, then have a look at those 4 windows and focus on them. What I know about it, what I don't know about it, what I should know, what I don't know at all, and I should be conscious of it. 4 windows might help you in a lot of ideas, generating new ideas. Now, talking about creativity, now, can we learn how to be more creative? Is creativity something nature in us? Or are some people creative and some people not creative? And does creativity something we can measure? And if we can measure it, then can we increase it? A lot of questions might occur in your mind. But let me go with this very short journey and focusing with the time as well. The amazing thing about creativity, it will, if you focus on it, if you work in the field of creativity, it will definitely reach you to innovation. And when you innovate ideas, then you are now regenerating new knowledge. And now you are in the way or the path of helping and teaching and others, because you're adding extra value in something. So if you want to reach to innovation, you need to be creative. If you want to be creative, you should accept the idea that you should learn every day, every year, every week, and learning should be a part of your life, because learning will give you knowledge, and knowledge will be connected, and then here is go round and round, and you can stay innovated all your life, inshallah. So creative thinking, is it reachable? Creative thinking is the ability to consider something in a new way. And we do that actually every day. We do think creatively, sometimes consciously and sometimes unconsciously. And when you want to have a strong project, then creative thinking should be a conscious way of dealing, a conscious style. So I find this image and I find it so interesting. And by the way, all the images I've added in our slide, I've been putting the link that I took from it. So I find this image, which I find it really interesting. So top creative thinking skills might related to ability to analyze things, might be related to thinking about things and consider them in a different angle. It is also related to problem solving, definitely. It is also related to organization or organizing, building, having a clear goal and putting a deadline and arranging a plan to apply our goals and measure it and measure our goals and doing it around and around until to reach success. Also, again, creative thinking related to communication. And it's always, you will always find communication in dealing with the creativity. It is very important. So creative thinking is not limited to artistic types. So those people who think, well, creative thinking should be with paints or building a house or a building or whatever, it is not limited. It is really an open way of thinking. Creative thinking is a skill that anyone can nurture and can develop. And here I'll answer some of my questions that I forward in the last slide. Everyone is a creative. Creativity can be learned. Creativity can be measured. Creativity can be applied. Yes, there are levels of creativity. And to be honest, according to the research, unconsciously, we are more creative when we are kids than when we get older. However, if we are conscious about the importance of creative thinking, then yes, creativity will grow with us, with our lifespan, and will never stop. So again, reminding you of the learning model I've just show you. So creativity can be taught, definitely, and developed and improved. Everyone is creative. Yes, creativity can be learned. And through that, I can definitely assure you that revisiting the meaning of learning is through giving a huge value to creativity in our life. Paul Torrance, who was known as the father of creativity, and I was honored to be taught in a part of my life under one of his students, and he was studying under him before he passed away. He passed away around 2005 or 2004. So he focused on creativity, and he was interested in creativity, and he was seeing some future problems, and he said, whatever future problems might happen, creativity has the solution for all those challenges. And he mentioned that problem is not a problem. Problem is opportunity. Now we said, yes, we can measure creative thinking. Creative thinking is able to be measured, but through certain skills: fluency, flexibility, elaboration, and creativity. If we are able to measure those skills, we can know the level of creative thinking we can also develop creativity. And so he worked with his team, and his team worked with other team, and they start with the journey of learning and teaching about creativity. And this goes, mashallah, all around the world. And here we go, that creativity is putting together known elements to a unique way. And again, focusing and being conscious in this process, you can reach to unique ways. Otherwise, it won't be easy. So what is creativity according to Torrance? It is using and being conscious when we deal with four skills, main skills which are fluency, elaboration, flexibility, and elaboration. And give me the opportunity within sometimes we have within the 15 minutes or 20 minutes still I have, or even a little bit more. I will discuss about those 4 skills. To be honest, for me, they are so important. And I want you to listen to the ideas I'm telling you consciously, because then you can later on go back and look at each skill of those and have a look at the windows and see where do you fit in any knowledge, in any big or small ideas. And then you can write down what you know, what you should know. And while you're doing that, you will find yourself understand where do you exist in those 4 windows. And by this knowledge, you can definitely draw your map guide that will lead you within focusing on the project that whatever project you do. So let's begin. Now, the first and the most important skill and the most easy one, fluency. Now, from its name, fluency, it's the number of ideas you have, the ability to generate many ideas, many solutions, many possibilities. How is that? It is simply by focusing on an idea or a topic or a question or opportunity or a problem focus and write down or record or whatever media you have, all the ideas you have. And you should be focusing in any idea, either it is good or bad. I never judge your ideas. Just generate ideas. Generate as much as you can ideas and never judge them. Like when you have the strategy of brainstorming, yes, it is a kind of brainstorming. So brainstorm an idea and generate as much ideas as you can in certain time, and never judge your ideas. So fluency can be measured by number of responses. Either they are related or not, either they're good or bad, either they're old or new, or whatever you just generate. This is the first skill. The second skill is flexibility. And it required generating a wide range of idea or a specific idea related to certain groups. So what do you mean by flexibility, and what's the difference between fluency and flexibility? Okay, so when you are doing consciously, you're doing fluency, you're generating a lot of ideas. Now, the second step will be those ideas I generate. Can I categorize them? Yes, you should. Then categorize your ideas, put them in a group, build the connections and put them in a group, and then see how flexibility you have, you have ideas generated in groups, then you can see the level of flexibility you have. So flexibility is measured by the number of different categories. Let me rephrase it. Let's see an example. Like if a teacher came or a person came and asked you, well, can you give me all the things that you have? Can you tell me all the things that you have at your home? And you will say, well, furniture, food, members of our family, pet maybe, and so and so and so. You will generate just ideas. Then we will tell you now, consciously developing your flexibility. Can you put those ideas or this items into groups? Then you will do chairs, tables, bed, furniture, apple, bananas, pasta, food. My mother, my parents, my husband, my kids, people, my cat, maybe the mouse outside, animals, and so and so. So you are putting them in categories. Okay. This flexibility. So flexibility, you'll be, if you have if you have flexibility in your thought, then you will be able to generate different ideas in different categories. Then the third one is originality. Now, this is so related to creativity and to innovation. Something new, not copied from or based on a work that done. It is not regenerating ideas. No, it is something unique, something never been told, something never been seen before. So how is that? While you generate a lot of ideas in different categories, have a look at them. You might have something, it seems unrelated, but it can be turned into a new idea. You can use it as a part of originality in thoughts and ideas you have. So originality is measured by the number of responses not mentioned by other participants. And normally, we measure flexibility according to the surrounding. We measured originality according to the community you have or the area you can generate. So maybe you can generate a new idea in your area that might be known in other parts of the world, but according to your community, it's a new idea, and you can apply it and have a new project. Elaboration. Now, this skill is important because it's a part of fleshing out a nice idea and adding information and ideas and sub-ideas regarding this main idea. So elaboration, like giving extra explanation of the topic you're talking about. It's like when we ask a kid or a person to say a story and then say, can you elaborate more? And I said, well, he's saying, no, can you explain it more? Or someone have an idea. And he said, well, I have an idea. The idea is that like this, blah, blah. And then we say, can you tell us more about this idea? Can you explain it more? Well, they are evoking the elaboration skill in that person. And elaboration is measured by how descriptive or how you explain each respond or the response that you find important and you want to elaborate in it. Now here, this is exactly how the journey will be to reach creativity in the perspective of Paul Torrance. It is when we have the ability to generate many ideas, and it is related to fluency skill. And then by fluency, we are able to have many different categories because we are having, in this case, flexibility. And then having fluency, flexibility, definitely we will find this rounded idea, which is originality. This idea that, yes, you find it, this is the one, or this might be the one. Then you can pick it out and focus on it and elaborate in this idea. Plan it, think about it, give it an extra many ideas in this big idea, and give it identity. So then you will have a creative idea, you will innovate a new idea or a new project. So when you have a problem or opportunity, and then you will be having flexibility, elaboration, and in between you have flexibility and originality. So by all that, we can definitely revisit the meaning of learning. Creativity is actually the main focus the main focus or the main field that we should focus when we want to reach to better knowledge. We can start ideas, research on this idea, find it, is it there in the market? It's not. Sketch your idea, your thought, plan it, design it, get it, and then start marketing it. Be creative. Never forget to consciously use creative skills, fluency, elaboration, originality, flexibility. And by that, definitely you will reach to creativity. And never hesitate and never re-estimate your abilities, and have always look at those windows and find your abilities where, and then make a plan and work on it. This was my presentation. I wish it was interesting, and you can measure what you can do, and you can see your plan now in another perspective, or in another corner, and have a look at it. Look at your ideas, using some of the I forwarded to you in this 40 minutes or 45 minutes. Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity.
Barakallah feek, Doctora. MashaAllah. As maybe I mentioned to you, Ramli, before, is that Dr. Budoor, she's very passionate about creative learning.
Yes.
And she dedicated her life for this issue and talking about it in Arab world, especially, but also around the world. And she have many publications in this issue. I'm not sure, Ramli, can I comment, or you have questions? I can stay till later. I can comment.
So we can take your comments and the comments of our guests, and later on the interns may ask their questions.
Okay, if there is any guests also have comments, so you can stop me, or I can be later also. I don't mind, because Budoor know that, but I just to remind you, remind you guys. Yes.
Yes. So anyone who has any suggestions or any questions, you may raise your hands, please.
Okay. So again, thanks a lot, Dr. Budoor. I'm proud of you as a cousin and as an expert, and we consider you, as I told you always, you are a member of Inspiration Economy. So whatever you do is inspiring, and I'm very proud of you, what you are developing yourself also post retirement. I see that another Budoor also, mashallah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I think I would say that I will just go through your slides in a different way, or what I my understanding, trying to link it again to Inspiration Economy, to whatever they are doing in the field, inshallah. We have about, I think, 28 people. They are already in the field. And the purpose that we designed this lecture is that so that they know is that the field is the main source of learning. And the other meaning of learning, which is you mentioned, as you said, understanding. I say it is even beyond understanding, which is the realization stage, which I consider it the area where our mindset will be changing, as you mentioned, our attitudes, our behavior, our how we react or reflect to ideas, and most important, how we assume life, how we see life, and the perspective, the glass. The more we learn, the more we are changing actually our glasses and the way we are seeing the world from different perspective. I liked also what you said, because this is what we've been saying. The more people go towards doing more projects that bring for them more, again, currency of inspiration, to be more independent actually from the materialistic or the dollar or the other, currencies, the more they're going to be independent communities. And frankly, the 4 C's that is mentioned in the creative learning, which is the creativity, the communication, the collaboration, and the critical thinking, I have them in different way. I believe these are the input. For inspiration, always we focus on the output and how much these created, Yani we know many people, they are taking many classes, Dr. Budoor, in these areas about communication skills, about communication in general, about collaboration, critical thinking, creativity. But we don't see their outcome. Yeah, they become like they are developing themselves, which we call it continuous professional learning or continuous personal learning. But I see from different things. I see it, no, they are the 4 C's that we also, okay, we respect these 4 C's, but these are the inputs. If they are not relevant to the 4 C's that we mention about always, which is capacity, because the formula of inspiration economy is about capacity versus demand, not supply versus demand. So the ability to change the capacity of the community around us, or our capacity, starting with ourselves, because this is what we say as in Quran, and you can't change people unless you change yourself. Then the changeability, okay, then the competency, and then the capability. These are the outcomes of these forces. And for that, I see is that not knowledge is power anymore. It's about management of knowledge. And because people now, they have much knowledge. And actually people are confused and maybe also now harnessed. And maybe I would say they became more disabled. Okay, people before, and I'm talking about, let's say 50 years ago or 100 years ago, whatever knowledge they have, they used to live around it. Today we have too much knowledge, but we are not, we can't utilize this knowledge because we don't know how to utilize this knowledge. So I think the management of knowledge, and this is part of my PhD also, and I found in many people, they have the knowledge, the governments or the communities, they have the knowledge, but they never gone to manage the knowledge. Actually, I'm calling for something which you said about, management of not known knowledge and unawareness and so on. I'm calling for management of ignorance. The more you know your ignorance, the more you're going to create humbleness, the more you're going to create proper observation in the field, and you can observe and you get opportunities in a proper way or explore opportunities. And the more you know how much you don't know, the more you're going to deliver better. And the problem now, we think we know many things. I'm talking about even our children or our relatives or even our youth, we trained around the world. And now they know, oh, I heard this, I heard it. There is no new ideas now, very limited ideas. And most of the ideas like a trend or like a fad, like the trend they follow in the Twitter or in the Facebook and so on. But they don't, because they never practice, they come to what you said about the unconscious competence. Okay, because the unconscious incompetence, sorry, not unconscious competence. But for people like me, and inshallah, I hope that these people is better than me. Like all of them is like my children, and all the people we work with, I tell them the difference between me and you is that I've been in the field, not because I read more, and because I've been in the field, I have tried to write more than 40 books, with all the respect, to understand why I am solving problems that others cannot solve, which I consider common sense. People, they consider that I'm genius, and I know that I'm not genius. I know that I'm not very intelligent, but I know, as I told you, I became unconscious about my competence. And I wanted to really open up what is the code for this. It's like a code. I'm trying to break it out by writing these books, how I'm solving this problem and so on. Because people, they see it very difficult. While I see it, it's not difficult. It only needs to be practiced on the field. The last thing that maybe I want to say here is about the really the Paul tolerance, and one of the most popular, of course. Whatever Paul Torrance is saying about fluency, flexibility, liberation, originality, I can see it really in inspiration labs. These guys now, they are doing the stage what we call inspiration lab. They are inspiration labs. They're in the field. They're trying to now have the ability not to generate ideas, because we don't want them to brainstorm. This is where our school comes different than the other schools. We want them to generate the observations in a proper way, and they codify the observation. So this is the first stage, which is the fluency. If I can relate it, I'm just trying to relate it to what we are doing. When it comes to flexibility, they're supposed to categorize actually their observation, okay, so that they can link it to the opportunities they can generate. And we call this a stage, and put them in a group, as you mentioned, classification. So we have codification, we have classification, and then we have the third stage, which is certification, which comes to the relevant of the originality. It's supposed to be unique now. The solution is unique. Why it's unique? Because we are saying it has to be solved within $300 when it comes to money. So we are straining the money side, okay, and telling you have to find other assets, other resources to bring it to the community. And I tell you, here the people will fall down. Many people will fall down. And out of 100 people we try, maybe about only, let's say 20% or less so far from our experience will continue. Why? Because they are said, how come you want us to do solve a problem like this in a community like this with this amount? And here it means that we need to go again, look about our observation, about the way we collected data, and think, we are only creating models, because the more we create models around the world, the more the world will start to believe that you can reach to the level of elaboration, as you mentioned, which is you can bring your idea to detail now. Because the details, Dr. Budoor, come from two issues. Detail come from the model that I'm doing in that community or relevant to that issue, whether this issue is gambling, alcoholism, child abuse, youth migration, family instability, poverty, name it, okay? Or actually raising the capacity to spread the model. The more I spread the model in different community, which you mentioned also, by the way, in different places, the more I'm elaborating my idea. I'm saying, see, this idea, it applied here in Morocco in different way. It is in India and Assam in different way. It is in Mauritania in different way. But the idea is the same, because it came through a thought-provoking applied field research, okay, which came from, again, not through structured thinking, not necessarily, but even through unstructured thinking. So again, I would like to thank you, because it's very relevant to what we are trying to do with these guys on the field. Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks, amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So anyone who has any suggestions, any comments, or any questions, can you please raise your hands?
And I can see people visiting us from before Sumaya, before our guys. Majda, she can comment, and also Dr. Gassar from Greece. If they can comment, it will be nice, yani. Whether in Arabic or English, no problem. I will translate it. ماجدة تبين تكلمين؟ ماجدة؟ أستاذة ماجدة؟
Ma'am, can you please unmute?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Open for her. I think she.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm not catching up yet.
لا اوكي. استاذه ماجد تبين تعلقين على اللي سمعتيه من بدور؟ لا لحظه ما نسمع الصوت. لحظه. فتحي الميكروفون مره ثانيه.
Hello.
ايوه نسمعك.
Are you hearing me very well?
اي نعم.
Yes.
We are, yes.
Hello, Mr. Buheji. For a long time I haven't seen you, and thank you for catching me up with your Zoom today. And I thank Madam Budoor Buheji for the lighting of the ideas. Thank you very much, Doctor. I wanted just to tell you about our views of what Dr. Budoor has been trying to do. The problem is the people who wanted to bring all these ideas like what you are doing. People are not following these steps that you are mentioning in your program. So this is very good points of view that you have mentioning us all these steps, because people are just working like that blindly. So we need someone who is giving us the wheel. who is giving us the ideas like what you are doing and like what Mr. Buheji is doing. This is very good. Our experience here in our area is we have been trying to do so many things at the same time. So people are not catching up the things. So you have to make or to organize yourself. You do step by step, that like what you are doing. This is very good point of view that I have catched it up. We have seen here our inspiration, and we have so many people that they are innovative, and we have so many fields, and we are working also like what Mr. Buheji that he's telling us that he's getting his experience from the field. We get to the field, we get in touch with the people, we are trying to catch up, we are trying to make the people are upgrading their self-development, themselves, make them learning the things. This is what we are trying now to do. We are thinking of making a lot of projects, and already we have framed project, we have framed the strategic plans. We are doing very good in making our projects now, and maybe by this year, the first year we are catching people. The second year we are giving them training and develop themselves. The third year we are going this year, inshallah, we are going to build up the project, inshallah, in the coming day. We hope so that we can make like what you are doing, brainstorming all the time. We can just make conferences also through Zoom. This will give us the will, and will build up our idea, and with giving us open mind. All these things are very good for us. And I have been trying to catch up the Zoom so many times, but I'm so unlucky because here we have some problem in our network problems. This time with Dr. Budoor, I'm so lucky. For 3 years, I haven't seen Mr. Buheji, and this is the first time for you to see you. Thank you very much. And we can collaborate. I have so many ideas. We can collaborate. We can send slides. We can make so many things for this gathering. And thank you very much, Madam Budoor.
Thank you. Shukran.
Ustad Majda, we are very happy to see you also. And this is, I think, as I said, we need more students from your side for this internship program. Okay, which you can arrange with me and Ramli and Paul and others. Okay, inshallah. Sudan deserve it. And we know that in Sudan you have many challenges, but this is why we are here. And all of us, we are looking for challenges to solve. Yeah.
Yeah. You will see it soon. I'm not going to tell you that maybe within December I will be at your Bahrain Day. Maybe I'm coming for an exhibition with my woman development project. Maybe you will come and see the corner of your
inshallah
inspiration economy, inshallah. December I will be at Bahrain with some women. We are invited for exhibition of autumn at your country.
MashaAllah. Okay, we know that you are inspiring women despite the challenges in Sudan, but you are trying your best, and that's what is amazing. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much, sir. So we have some interns who have some questions. Zahura, you may please unmute yourself.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum assalam wa
rahmatullahi. Thank you for giving me this opportunity of giving out my suggestion. And it is not the case of a question, but it is a suggestion. First of all, I have to thank the the whole team that participated in the arrangement of this meeting. It has been tremendous and so gorgeous for real. Just this knowledge that we get from Dr. Budoor, I think that it is going to act like a trigger that is going to push us to do so many things that are good and big as possible, just to, as we have a task, this task that we are given, I think that this knowledge that we get from this presentation, it is going to help us so that we can prepare many things that are good. And I think that those ideas that you are just generating from the field study that you are in today, or not only today, but nowadays, I think that this knowledge that you are getting here, it is the one that is going to help us to do this task that you are given. And I think that this knowledge that we get right now, it is the one that is going to help us to link it with this project that we are just trying to think about. So that you share with us, it has been so good, and I think that we are going to use it so that we can prepare many things good that are going to be helpful not only to us but also to the general community. Thank you very much, Farrell.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Zahra.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Zahra, you are from Rwanda, right?
Exactly.
She knows Budoor. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm from Rwanda.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Sumaya, I think she had her hand raised.
Yes, and Quizera also. Sorry.
Oh, Quizera Isa.
Yeah.
Okay. Sumaya.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
عليكم السلام عيسى.
ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah, first of all, and I thank you all for being attentive to this wonderful and productive presentation. In a few words, it has been a long time without hearing from you, and I'm very contented to the way I can't even explain. What I can say is that we have a really gained many things and many knowledge that we'll be using in the future, inshallah. What is more profitable is that we have been taught by these experts. May Allah enlarge your memory and your knowledge, inshallah. I was contented when I heard that you are an expert in education, since 7 of the all interns that are doing this internship are in education. We are in College of Education. So it was the great pleasure to be taught by you. And I hope that, and I would request that if it is possible, you may come back. That's it is just like delivering my gratitude towards you and all the people who suggested you to come. Thank you so much.
We'll bring her to Nigatari, Isa. Inshallah.
No.
We'll bring her to the field,
inshallah.
And to the Rwanda forum, inshallah, which we'll do next year, inshallah.
It will be my pleasure.
Inshallah,
it will be my
inshallah.
pleasure. Shukran.
Inshallah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Quizera. So Sumaya, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, please.
Hello.
Please continue.
Okay, assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Honored actually and very happy to be part of this team. Kudos to the experts. I really envy you actually and envy your expertise. Actually, I envy most people who are advocates of education. To me, you're giving back to the community, and also you're a builder to the next coming generation. Thank you. Now we have, like, listening to you make me have a lot of introspection on how to go and connect the dots. and cross the T's and dot the I's in order to bring out something really good out of what we're doing, which really is part of this. Although we have certain priorities that we put forward, but I think we can borrow from this to go and make it better, to harness the better part of it, and also make it a more viable, sustainable, and also localized. Thank you very much. I really am privileged to be part of this team, to listen from you, and also to the organizers. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Shukran. Thank you very much.
In fact, sorry to add one. I never knew that one can learn creativity anyway. So I think I have to go back and start learning how to be creative. Yes.
No worries, you are creative. Yani, I'm definitely sure.
No, I'm not. But I will learn. I'll go start learning how to be creative. Thank you very much.
Wish you all the best.
MashaAllah, Sumaya, you have Dr. Budoor. She's teaching in her village. She's from Nigeria, from a village where there is no school. So she's filling the gap.
Allahu Akbar.
She's creating, MashaAllah, doing a great job. And for with minimal resources, MashaAllah.
Amazing, amazing, MashaAllah. Tabarak Rahman.
دكتور جشار موجود؟ دكتور جشار؟ It's good if he join he's from Greece and he's a professor in Greece. But okay, Ramli, anybody else?
Anyone else who has any suggestions? Yeah, Khadija, can you please unmute yourself?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Let me just be brief. For real, it was a very good presentation. I was inspired by the other point that say that there are things that we don't know. I was really inspired by that thing, and I even flashbacked toward the things that I might don't know that I don't know. And I realized that I need to focus on those things and maybe even realize how much important they are to me. And what I'm going to do is just to focus on them and find out maybe how important they might be, and to me and even to the society. Thank you so much. It was very really inspiring presentation.
Thank you for mentioning it. And I want to add something regarding to something you don't know that you don't know. Now, when you have this that, yeah, there is something that I don't know, as Dr. Muhammad mentioned, don't focus in feeling so bad that you don't know, but think of it's an opportunity, plus dig for it in a pleasure, and give it a time to flow and to help you, to inspire you to a new ideas. Meaning, give it time to, as they say, sleep on it. يعني give it, يعني like we make it, I will give this example, like we make a bread or a cake. Now the best bread and the best cake will be, it will be when you give it some times to, to mix to itself without doing any effort. So this part of time that you do nothing is also important. So now let me tell you, before you went in this session, there is a moment that you let go of all ideas. And then you came into this workshop and you had a look at the slides and you listen and you focus. And then there is came out. Now you will work a little bit. And then I want to ask you to do that. Let go. Let go with the idea and let it flow and sleep on it and let it take its time and then come back to it. Here, you are giving away to your mind, the conscious and the unconscious. Because I want to tell you something. The unconscious part of it is powerful as well. So use it. It's not bad. It's really sometimes it's the aha there. So this is additional to what you mentioned. So it came, subhanAllah. I should tell you that. So yes.
Maybe I will comment on this بعد Dr. Budoor. The more we live in fuzziness in some our time, and of course we have to have clarity when we do something. Okay, but the more we target fuzziness actually, and we dare to go to the unknown area, it is the more we're gonna be inspiring, the more we're gonna be creative, the more we're gonna be bringing something of originality to the world. So fuzziness is not something that we should avoid. Fuzziness is something that we should target actually in our life. Yes. I think Dr. Hisham Mnisi is one of our friends, and he's also head teacher. I think I would like to hear from him.
Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. Thank you very much, and I appreciate being with you. I thank Dr. Budoor also for her very interesting presentation. I am in the field of education for a long time, and I am a principal of a school now. I'd like to comment on two things. The first one, when she started to put a definition for learning, first, learning is making a change in everything that when you want is having. So if you want to change something, it's plus learning, plus knowledge, plus everything. If this doesn't go into a change in the person, you want to change it in him or in her, so learning doesn't occur. Number two, I want to praise Dr. Budoor for her lecture about creativity, and I want to go more practical. How can we generate more ideas, more creative ideas to solve a problem we are facing now? The problem now we are facing in the field of education is how to bridge the gap of academic loss. To identify academic loss is the gap we are facing now in schools because of the Corona period. You know, Dr. Muhammad, because of the 2.5 years at home, there is a big loss in education achievement. Many children haven't attended school for 2.5 years, and now they are in the 4th grade. Most of them, as you know, their parents, their mom, usually do their tests and their homeworks. We face this at school now. We want more creative ideas, and in the same time, we take in mind the difficulties and the hardships of economic issues, you know, we face at school. If we can come up with more ideas, more practical ideas to solve this problem, I think this will be very beneficial to the field of education. Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad. Thank you, Dr. Budoor, for your interesting lecture. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Hisham. And I know that, mashallah, you are creative in bringing solutions. But I will tell you something maybe for Budoor, her specialty, this issue. From our experience, exploratory learning is one of the best techniques to close the gap in education. And I can tell you what I'm using it in poverty. I have a book, by the way, of that. Okay. In poverty, and this is, by the way, I learned a lot from the Indians, in India especially. In poverty, you can eliminate the number of years of loss by doing taking children more towards experiential learning or exploratory learning. And I specifically, the word is experiential learning, but I call it also exploratory learning, where the people will not be in normal class. There will be, the extracurricular will be the majority. Till you come to the level where, for example, where they will meet maybe other people if they were normal in the 6th grade. Okay. because they enjoy the freedom now. They enjoy the unstructured approach with their children. Now they're coming back to class. They feel strained, and they will be resistant to normal learning. So I feel having school to compete with even the home or learning from home is one of the techniques to overcome this. This is from my experience and working with the poor. I don't know about rich countries or rich developing countries like Bahrain and others, but this is what I seen in India, how they did it. Yeah. Budoor, I think you want to comment, Dora.
Yes. Well, I want to comment in two parts, but I hope you will not misunderstand me. From my perspective, from my simple perspective, I'm telling you, I don't believe in educational gap. It is my own perspective. I see it. It's not a gap. We are facing a situation where all students from our thought that their level goes down. But let's go back and think, who put this level? We put it, people put it, the ministries put it. Okay, then we put a level and then we say there is a problem. Okay, go down with the level. Will they be a problem? They'll not be a problem. Then in this case, we can't measure today's students the same measurement we're using from 3 years or 2 years or before the pandemic. This is the first issue, and I think you understand my points without going in deep. The second point, the one you mentioned, Dr. Muhammad, the way we are used to teach our students from the beginning, it lacks discovery, it lacks long life learning skills, it lacks discovery learning, it lacks problem solving learning, it lacks. So now, subhanallah, this pandemic came. It is to let us wake up and let's go back and see how our teachers and how we teach our kids, revisiting the way we're teaching, learning, and studying. And it's time to reduce the effort that the teachers doing. Ya Jama'ah, teachers should not teach all the day. Teachers should guide, open a light, and let the students just guide themselves. No one will suffer. Students will enjoy learning. Teacher will take a breath, and learning will go by little without stress, without suffering, without struggling. Kids are coming and crying. They are looking for the marks. Who says that the A or B or C is a really measurement? No, it's how they deal with their life and how. So I understand, Ustad. Yes, I understand the issue, but really we should reconsider and revisit the way we deal with students. This new students, this generation, Tara, subhanallah, God is preparing them for something we might not be at that moment. They should be prepared for something in the future. And yes, wish all the best for all teachers with all with all respect. Mashallah, they're doing their effort, and I admire all of them. And yes, thank you for mentioning it as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I would like to comment on this. As you said, giving wings to curiosity is something which can help us move forward. From the childhood, if we confine ourselves into a category, like we have to score this much or we have to learn this much, then we knowingly, unknowingly, subconsciously and consciously, we put barriers in the learning. Even if I'm finding this topic very interesting, I might not move ahead because I have to focus on my marks, that I have to read so many other topics that I'll be missing on exploring the topic that I feel that has inspired me. So in that way, education in today's society and today's all the structures that has been built up over the years, over the centuries, it somewhere not only inhibits the progress, which we can see in today's world, like physics, for example. Theoretical physics has been dormant since last 40 years. There has been no major discovery there after Einstein. There has not, and Stephen Hawking, there has not been any major discovery that has changed the entire approach. So in some way or the other, we should focus on developing curiosity more rather than following or having a herd mentality, like going just going what's going on, like following whatever is going on. So I think that's something that I have attained from today's lecture. So anyone else who would like to comment anything or ask any questions?
Okay, then I think we can close.
Yes, sir.
First, I would like to thank you, Dr. Budoor, for really this inspiring and also thought-provoking lecture. All of us, we know innovation, we know creativity, but the way you presented it and the way you were making it simple and easy to grasp is really amazing. And I believe it's hook in the right time, as I said, for most of our interns. Many of them, they could not attend, I'm sure, because of the network. Mostly they are in the villages or somewhere, including the boss, Mr. Paul, which we should get, by the way, we should give him some marks for not attendance, Ramli. Okay, but he told me that when he's in Sivasagar or that area,
yes,
where there is the network is weak. But I'm sure they will see your lecture, and I'm happy that we have people that usually could not attend because of the network, like Ustad Majda and Ustad Hisham and others, and Dr. Jassar from Greece and others. So, and inshallah, we hope that this is again start for more collaboration with you, because I believe you have a lot to give for especially the future generation who are looking to explore more how to solve community problems. We are focused in human related problems more than development or going to the Mars or to the technology. This is the focus of this group internship, and this internship is going to be next internship will be in January, which is these guys will take over, like Ramli, Sumaya, the leaders of these groups. They will be taking over and they will be running the internship from now on more and more. So thanks a lot, and we wish you all the best, inshallah. If you have any comment you want to say before we close, inshallah.
Well, definitely. I can't find the word to say thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. One of my focus after the retirement is educating people regarding giftedness. And it is really amazing opportunity I've got today that my voice can reach these all countries. I'm really I'm really happy and excited. Thank you for the opportunity. And yes, definitely collaboration will be, inshallah, continue with you. Thank you for organizing it, and thanks for everyone who attend, and those who couldn't have the ability, inshallah, they can see the recording, and my email is there. So definitely anyone who wants to reach can contact me through email. And this is my Instagram. This is business Instagram. I mean, I show whatever programs and activities I still do and used to be doing. So yes, it might be an inspiration for them as well. Thank you for this opportunity. Shukran.
Jazakallah khair. Thanks a lot, and hope to see you, inshallah. We have people that we did not give them chance, like from Mauritania and Ghana, but I'm sure that they will come back to your lecture and ask more questions. And they will be with us anyway for the next cohort, like Godfred and Hamad Ibrahim and others. And I'm sure that in the next cohort, you'll be also another, give another contribution, inshallah. Thanks a lot, Dr. Budoor. And thank you, Ramli. Thank you, Dr. Majda, and everybody. Thanks a lot. See you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.